Hi, welcome to this video by Creating a Family. Today we're going to be talking about special needs international adoptions from China. I'm Dawn Davenport. I'm the director of Creating a Family, and we are a nonprofit that provides resources, support, and education on adoption and infertility. Much of the information that's on today's Creating a Family video is going to be taken from the July 29th, 2009 Creating a Family radio show. That's a 1-hour weekly radio show where we talk about topics on adoption and infertility. And on the July 29th, 2009 show, we talked about the future of international adoptions from China. And the second half of that program was dedicated to special needs adoptions from China. China's been one of the top placing countries to the United States for international adoption throughout most of the 1990s and 2000s. It reached its peak in 2005 where we had a total of almost 8,000 children from China placed to the U.S. But then in around late 2006 and 2007, the waiting time started increasing rather dramatically. In the summer of 2009, the families who were receiving referrals had been waiting for 40 months, and the expectation is that that wait will continue to increase. Except there is one exception, and that is for families who feel like they are able to adopt a special needs child, and the waiting time from start to finish is usually within a year. That's a significant reduction in waiting time. By the way, we talked on the July 29th show a lot about the reasons for the increased wait, so I refer you to that show. I also refer you to a video we made on that called The Future of International Adoptions from China. You can find that video on the adoption video page at creatingafamily.com. Let's talk first about what special needs actually are. The word special needs is adoption-ese, it's adoption talk. What it really means is children who have conditions that might make it harder to find a family to parent them. And that can include correctable medical conditions, non-correctable medical conditions. It can include mental conditions, mental illness issues. But it could also just be age. Simply being older is considered a special needs, believe it or not. Some of the more common ones that we see right now coming out of China are cleft lip and cleft palate, club foot, limb deformities or limb discrepancies, repairable heart conditions, or of course non-repairable heart conditions, Hep B, hepatitis B, deafness, partial deafness, reduced vision, things such as that are the more typical special needs that we see coming out of China right now. There are still plenty of young babies and toddlers in the special needs program, but realistically you can expect that most of the kids coming in the special needs program will be a little older than the kids that are being placed in the babies that are being placed in the traditional Chinese program. The average age for the traditional program is anywhere from 10 to 12 months, and what I'm really seeing now coming out of China with the special needs program, more the average I would guess is between 2 and 3 years of age. The parental restrictions are a little looser for parents. The parental restrictions that China places on parents who are able to adopt are looser for the special needs program. To get more information, go to the adoption chart for China at creatingafamily.com. And we list what restrictions have been loosened. Primarily it's the age restriction on parents, unfortunately not the restriction on singles. The process for adopting through the special needs program is different than it is from the regular program. With the regular program, you submit all your paperwork to China, and the bureaucracy, the agency in China, selects a child, matches it. You receive pretty much scant medical information on that child while you are here, and you decide whether or not to accept the referral. With the special needs program, you select the child, and that's the primary difference between the two. How to find the child? Well, that's the big issue here. The Chinese government has approved a specific number of agencies here in the United States to place special needs children. So you will, and those agencies, all of those agencies, have access to a list that the Chinese authority updates on a regular basis. Now, that's called the shared list. You'll hear it referred to as a shared list because it's shared by all the agencies. But some of those agencies also receive a specific agency-specific list from the Chinese authority. And that agency is the only one who has those children to place. The first thing you need to do if you're thinking about adopting a special needs child from China or from anywhere really, you need to do your research on what type of special needs you think your family is best able to parent. There's my favorite place to find information on this is a website called rainbowkids.com, and on the left-hand column there is a button on special needs. You go to that, and they list about 50 some odd special needs. You click on the specific needs, and it gives you medical information, it gives you support groups, it gives you all sorts of information, including waiting children who actually have that condition. That's my favorite place that I send people to, but quite frankly we also have a number of resources in other places on that we link to at the creatingafamily.com under adoption, under special needs. The next thing you need to do is to make sure that your home study, that you are approved in your home study to adopt a child with this special need and at the age that this child might have. If you already have a home study, you shouldn't have to pay for a brand new home study. You just need to pay for an update usually. But if you don't have one, you need to make sure in either case that your home study approves you for the list of special needs you think that your family can parent. If you are already in the line and waiting in line for in China, first of all, I'm really sorry you're stuck in that line. But if you're waiting in line and you are thinking that you want to switch to the special needs program, that's certainly possible. You do not lose your place in line. If your agency is one of the agencies that is approved by China, then you can't switch agencies, but you can access either the special needs list or the specific agency-specific list. And you don't lose your place in line until after you've actually accepted the referral of that child with the special needs. If you're not already in line, I would strongly recommend that you find an agency that, of course, obviously is approved for the special needs programs, but also has an agency-specific list. It just makes sense. And the biggest difference is when you're using an agency-specific list, you have time. You are not necessarily, you don't have all the time in the world, but you're not having to make a split-second decision. With the shared list, it's important that you decide pretty quick because all these agencies are accessing the same list of children, and the child that you think that your family can best parent may be gone by the time you've thought about it and pondered it. You have more time with the agency-specific list. I would like to tell you that I know where I have linked to a list of the agencies that receive special needs, specific agency list of special needs children from China. As far as I know, that list does not exist. On our radio show, it was mentioned that the JCICS, an organization involved in this, actually had a list. As far as I know, they do not. I've looked, I spent a lot of time looking for that list. As far as I know, it doesn't exist, so you're going to have to actually call around to the agencies and of course do your regular research on whether or not you want to use that agency. My best piece of advice to you is to slow down beforehand. Think it through. It's important not to just be thinking in terms of getting a child as fast as you possibly can, and I'm tired of waiting in line, and I want a Chinese child, therefore I'm going to just go to the special need adoption. Adopting a child with special needs is a big decision, and it's not for everybody, and you need to make sure it is for you before you go that route. But if you decide to go that route after doing your research, a lot of people have found the love of their life that way. So I would encourage you to at least consider it. That's all for today. If you haven't already subscribed to the Creating a Family videos channel on YouTube, please do that. We love getting your views, and we also love your comments. So please rate us and give your comments. Thanks.